Welcome to Sabor Astrology, a podcast for the soul. Today we'll be talking about the current cosmic energies. And without further ado, I'd love to pass la taza to T for the transits of the week. Welcome, T.
Thank you, Shay. Thank you. Welcome, everyone. Glad you're with us again today. There's a lot going on with Scorpio, Sun in Scorpio, Mars and Scorpio. There's a lot of Scorpio, but then we already knew that, right? Because this is the Scorpionic season. And so I just want to talk a little bit again first about Sun in Scorpio. This might be the first time that you're joining us. Reminders that the sun is about the I, that it is about where I am, what is my purpose in the constellation of everything that's going around me. And sun in Scorpio, it's about death, rebirth, transformation, and what we could be doing for ourselves if only we allow ourselves to do this. And this is exactly what we were talking about before we started the podcast today, Shay, right? Like, are we going to allow ourselves to transform? Are we going to allow ourselves to elevate to the next level? Being that the sun is in Scorpio, this gives us the opportunity to deal with compulsions, with our obsessions, with the depths of our focus, because we can be obsessed people. This is a time of the emotions, and it can be of a sexual nature. So we want deep, but to what extent are we going to go to achieve a feeling of satisfaction? It's an intuitive place, but again, it's about me, and with Scorpio energy, there could be a little bit of that suspicion, a little bit about fear, and how we're going to be, perceived by others. We may be fearful of that, whether they are the object, we are the object of their perspectives, or maybe we're just thinking that we're the object, because sometimes Scorpio goes there and they don't really have to, because people aren't really thinking about us as much as we think people are thinking about us. So that's do you want to add anything there first about Sun and Scorpio before we start talking about the transits, Shay?
I would say that archetype that comes up for Scorpio is the investigator. Like, they like to investigate, they like to do research. There's an aspect of not only diving deep in the emotional landscape, but also in like the intellectual realm, as well as they're going to the root of things. It reminds me of like CSI shows. You always have that one girl that's like very gothy, and she's like in the back doing like the forensic stuff, right? So it's an archetype of really that person that can understand, can look at things from an ego's point of view, but also dive deep into what the issue is, what the core problem is, or what the core situation is, to understand the smaller pieces. So there's a macro and a micro level kind of like window that Scorpios can look at. So they're very intellectual people, very resourceful. Like, they understand a level of resourcefulness, and they can teach us that. Again, it does have to do a lot of the subconscious things too, like rising up for us, anything that we've kind of suppressed and are holding on to. The Scorpio sun really helps us to kind of beam lights on that and deal with those situations the best way possible. Sometimes there might not be any way of solving these problems, but we can work with them. And I feel like Scorpio does give us some type of stability there when it comes to our emotional and intellectual mind.
As long as Scorpio doesn't become too fixed, right?
Yeah.
The
Yeah. Right.
Scorpio is fixed. So there's always that possibility of going that extra edge.
Yeah.
We're
And
not
trust.
going over that extra edge.
Right. Right. And trusting too, like trusting others. As an intellectual is important, right? Not to be here, but also to be in the heart.
So this week our transits with Sun in Scorpio, We have it sextiling Venus and Virgo from Wednesday to Friday. We have it trining Neptune and Pisces from Thursday to Saturday. It's sextiling Pluto and Capricorn from Sunday to Tuesday, and it's squaring Saturn and Pisces from Tuesday to Thursday, right? So that's a lot of words. And, people I work with, they say, okay, like you just said those words, what does that mean? So we'll tell you what that means, okay? So these transits, and I'm going to talk because nothing is linear, although it looks like it's linear. For some of us, we feel it a little bit earlier than others, depending on where it sits in our chart, what our placements are, our natal chart placements. We may be more affected with some than others, right? So around this time, you're going to have the possibility where it's sextiling Venus and Virgo is to feel good and have be affectionate toward others. If you're feeling good, and that's if you're feeling good. If you feel like withdrawing, that's okay too, because that's just where you are. That's who you are. You may be creating friendships with others, having dinners, even like a candlelight dinner, which would be really nice. And it's a good time to look at your finances and make any plans or transactions that bring about good feelings. So that's where it's sextiling Venus and Virgo. Where it's trining Neptune and Pisces, again, nothing is linear. I keep wanting to say that today, that it's really important. This message is that we understand that nothing is linear, that sometimes things happen the way they're supposed to happen. They're happening at the same time, like a sandwich, right? Like the bread and the cheese and the turkey or the ham, whatever it is, like it's all happening at the same time. Or not. So I wouldn't get fixed onto anything, although, we are talking about Scorpio. So when it trines Neptune and Pisces, we're looking at, again, it's a good time to engage in a meditative practice. Scorpio can see what others can't. Pisces is very mystical, very psychic, and it's of the collective. So it's like the larger picture. And like it's experiencing something, and sometimes like it's below our consciousness, right? So that we're not even aware that we are so aware, right? So that we see things that are happening, like, whoa, did that just happen? Did that just happen? Yeah, that did happen, because you have that ability, especially in this time right now with the veils being open. So I think it's important, like the message I received with this is to believe what you see and what you hear. If you get a message from spirit, listen to that message. It's for you. It's for you. There's something about, sometimes we talk to ourselves and it's not, of the highest good, but, there's a difference when we're talking to spirit. And if you're engaging in a meditative practice, you will get used to that. You will know the difference between, like I know the difference between when spirit is talking to me and when it's my own thinking that's coming in the way. So during this time, meditate, maybe a water meditation, ask Pisces to touch with Scorpio, watch as the magic arises, because this is a time of transformation, which is one of the bigger messages here at this time. When Scorpio sextiles Pluto, in Capricorn, you might want to declutter, and not only like declutter your place, like your folders or your paperwork or your clothing. You might even want to declutter, food that's, cans on your shelves, but it's also time to declutter what's inside. And that's where, again, the meditation can allow you to do that. Your meditative practice can allow you to do this. And this is what I'm saying, it's kind of all like fits in together. What has been piquing your interest in terms of spiritual studies, in terms of your spirituality? Is it esoteric studies? Is it the occult, tarot? Like, check it out, like explore it. If that's been piquing your interest, do it, because there's a reason we're changing on this planet. We are changing, and we do need light workers. We do need healers on this planet who are able to speak about spiritual practice, and I'm not talking about organized religion, that's in another area, but about being open to spirit. So sometimes you have to get rid of what's inside before you can let that light shine in. And then the last one that I'll talk about, transit of Sun in Scorpio, is the where it squares Saturn in Pisces. So you might be dealing with some sense of restriction, some sense of boundaries. It's not terrible. It may give you a container in which you can put yourself, where we might just want a free flow. Saturn is known to be, it's like the male energy, like the father energy, right? But I'm not seeing that as this. I mean, there might be some things that are representative of that male energy, and it might not have actually been your father or my father. It could be, a care provider, a grandfather. It could be your mother. Sometimes the mother is the Saturn in the household. But, what I'm looking at as I'm seeing this, as I'm hearing this, is that who is the Saturn within me? Who is the father that's within me that's giving me the restrictions? How am I holding myself back? Am I holding myself back for the higher good? Or am I holding myself back because there's a fear that's there? So, there's this whole thing about trust again in Scorpio. But this is like the sun, right? It's your purpose. What is your purpose? What are you here for? What are you here for? And I think meditation is going to give you some more clues to that. Try to find a way to carve that into your day. I know, like for me, it's just like a joy when I pray and I meditate every morning. It just is a joy. It gives me something that is the stability, is the container that I need. So that's what I share with you about Sun and Scorpio transits this week. So
I love the container. The container, that is so important. Having those, boundaries are not, they might seem like they're hard. I mean, if they're rigid, is something different. But if they're placed to, like if we think about our altars, right? That is a container for our communication, maybe with our ancestors or with ourselves. Maybe we did, a personal altar for ourselves, right? That is a container. So containers we can create within that container. We think about artists, they use canvases, right, to draw their painting. They're not just like, I mean, if you want to, you can paint a whole wall, but they have parameters. So they're able to paint an idea. And that's the beauty of, of boundaries. They don't have to be rigid. They don't have to be closed off. We can create through those. And like T mentioned, go within with those boundaries. And to kind of place a blanket over us during these transits, the flavor or sazon I wrote here of these solar transits is one of openness. Again, it's like there's something, we don't have to be closed off. When we have boundaries, we can actually be open. There's an opening up for us, and especially opening up to oneself to trust the path. Trust the path, because the sun, like T mentioned, it is solar. It is, what are we here to do? It is our talent. It is who we are. So opening oneself to to trust oneself in the path. There's also a greater sense of communication that can come in, not only with others, but I'm seeing one-on-one with one-on-one with another person. It could be a new person. It could be a family member. It could be someone that maybe lives where you are in your community. And understanding our deeper spiritual practices. So there is something spiritual here, connecting the mind and the body, but mainly connecting the mind to the spiritual body as well. I feel like we're being introduced with all these transits, solar transits, to building blocks that are necessary for this moment in our personal development. So it's not about the development of anyone else, it's our personal development. because it's speaking about this. So yes, there could be that square that could be there could be a challenge with the sun, but those are the things that can, or even a sextile, because sextiles opportunities or trines, but those are times where we can level up, go up the stairs. And one of the first stairs that we can think about is know thyself. Then you master thyself, and that's a occult philosophy of understanding as we get to connect to our higher self and to who we are as people. So that's what I got with the solar transits.
That's beautiful. I mean, I'm thinking that what you're saying, trust in yourself, right?
Mhm.
Such a high priority.
Everyone, like at this moment with Scorpio, it's like trust yourself. Don't be afraid. Yes, the closet, the basement is dark. But we just gotta trust sometimes. And we're not walking in blindly. We're walking in with a purpose because we're speaking about the sun. So
And then the sun is shining the light, right?
yeah.
And it's dark.
Yeah.
So that light is going to go on if you
Mhm.
allow it to, again, right? So that's so great. Thank you. So the next two placements I'm going to talk about is Mercury in Sagittarius, trines Chiron in Aries, and that's Monday, the 20th to the 22nd, Wednesday. And Venus in Libra opposes right on the heels Chiron in Aries. So with Mercury in Aries, think about, Mercury's in Sagittarius, that the energy, the interaction is usually buoyant. They tell a good tale, they see the bigger picture of things, they're able to talk about that. And it's trining Chiron in Aries, and Chiron is our wounded healer, right? And Aries is a cardinal sign. It's a fire sign. It's about the self. It's about me, right? And what is that wound that I'm carrying? What is that wound? So I'm seeing it as the wound that I'm carrying is always there, right? There's something that's gone on. We all have it, whatever that thing is. And but it's how we carry it. It's, are we moving forward with it, right? Because each time we get the opportunity to work with Chiron and, as a placement that's prominent for us, that we're able to get to a different level of healing. And Mercury in Sagittarius, I'm thinking that it's about talking to someone else about it, maybe writing about it. But I was thinking more about the verbal, the importance of manifesting your words into the universe, and letting that release from your body, although different people release in different ways. So writing might be your thing. You may decide to go for counseling or therapy. I know for some people that therapy is such a bad word. I work with a lot of people and they're like, you talk about therapy, they are like, whoa, I don't know about that. Maybe because as I do therapy, that I find it very, very helpful. And having been in therapy myself and being able to talk, being able to say, these are the things that have happened. This is, you are witness to my experience. So that's what I have for Mercury in Sag. And then the Venus in Libra opposing Chiron in Aries, right? Libra and Aries is about me, and then it's about other. It's about me and other. It's that dance. And right now we have our, nodes are also involved with that, which is very heavy this let's say this semester. So there might be times with this one that you might think that I can't handle this. I don't want to be with these people. I'm having problems trusting in the situation or someone who's just not there for me. And it can be heavy, but I'm thinking that, again, like situations change, you change, things change. Who is it that you're going to trust and not say, okay, it's them, it's all them, it's not me. It is me. Like what's my part in this? Which is really important. Like some of us can deal with people and some of us can't deal with people that easily, but that we are meant to deal with people on this planet during our lifetimes. So, how are you going to treat that? Because Chiron in Aries can be painful. It can be hard. But, again, putting the time and energy in whatever way you feel is the best way to allow it to be released. It's definitely going to be worth it for you. So that's what I have about the Chiron and Aries transits this coming week.
Yeah, if it goes kind of back to, it goes back to personal development, right? Developing that Chiron and Aries is, again, think about Aries connected to the first house, to the eye, to the solar energies of, and so there is something personal that we're dealing with in a degree of pain or wounding or loss or grief that we can, with this trine, with Mercury trining Chiron, that we can kind of assess and look at. And again, the flavor that this transit brings is one of great healing. It's a great master healer here with Chiron coming in Aries, where we can tap into what has been suppressed. Again, that therapeutic energy that comes in, what's been suppressed all along, right? What have we been escaping from? And escape can look and manifest in different ways for people. So a little bit of too much can also be not that great with this transit. So trying to look at our wounds from a place of understanding and learning how to work with them rather than escaping from them is helpful. Our minds are capable of allowing a flow of healing to come in and help us again. We don't have to escape it. We can feel it, acknowledge it, and learn how to work with it. There's great space to sit with our healing and grief by way of learning how to work with it, how I had mentioned before. And it can feel consuming, but we have to look at it as not consuming us. It's more of like how we can work with those pains and things. If we keep them suppressed, they're going to be there, and they're going to arise in times and moments that we never really expected, and which we have to then deal with. So this transit is helping us to deal with it as best as possible. It is a trine, so there's a little bit more ease with dealing with our core suppressions in our mind and subconscious. And as I was writing up the flavor for this transit, I received the image of a gift box, which was very strange. And I was in a Starbucks sitting writing out, and I got that image of the gift box coming through for us. So I'm going to do a little bit of a meditation right now, if you allow me, T.
Yes, of course.
Yeah, and then we're going to just pause, because as I was writing it, I felt the need to okay, we need to pause and then do the meditation. So I want you to think about how this box has a glimmer of light within it. So just have that image of box, gift box, however it looks like to you, and glimmer, okay, of light. It could be sparkly, it could be however you create that in your mind. And we're going to take a moment of stillness. And this stillness is for the self. This stillness is to go within. And when you're ready and you feel ready, close your eyes. And when you close your eyes, take a nice deep breath in through your nose and out, releasing, disconnecting from anything that we've been carrying. And now imagine a gift box appear in front of you. Maybe someone brought it to you and it appears right before you. And you create the box however you like. You can make it as pretty, as big, small, or as beautiful, or as creative and unique. And that is for you to keep that in mind. And when you're ready, you can now open the box. And when you open the box, an expansive, glowing, warm ray radiates, and then another ray radiates, and then another one, and bigger and bigger and bigger. And I want you to take a moment to acknowledge that ray and place it within your heart space. Acknowledge it. And I want you to take a nice deep breath in and release. I want you to carry that light with you for these transits and see what inspires you and what healing comes in. And when you're ready, you can begin to open your eyes. When you're ready, take your time, breathe in and out. You can even think of the number 10 at this moment. And when you're ready, open your eyes. Welcome back. Welcome back. So this meditation came up for this transit, these flavorful transits. So you can listen to this on repeat whenever we need a spark of healing and warmth. And know that this is universal light, universal support for all of us that are watching this. And feel free to share with others and continue to apply this meditation morning, night, or anytime in between. And that's all.
Oh, nice. Thank you. I loved it. Oh my God, it was so personal. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
So should I go on?
Yeah. You may go on.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about Mars and Scorpio, of all things, right?
Yeah.
Mars and Scorpio is probably one of the most gentle Mars placements. I mean, it's energized, but it's not, it's more like a deep, intense, like passionate sort of energy. It's pointed, it's decisive. However, on the other side of this may be the fear of getting close to others. Communication can be withheld because of the secretiveness that Scorpio may feel that they have. And in order to trust with others, Scorpio has to really build that foundation first. Mars is fiery, it's assertive, and Scorpio is a fixed water sign. So emotions aren't easily shared. But also there's the thing of like not holding on too much so you don't have the kaboom, right? So that the stuff that you've been holding on, like then it just like explodes, right? Because you haven't felt that trust to talk, but it's still there, it's still simmering inside. So if you're feeling like things are building up, it's a good time to like take a long walk, take that long run. Like physically you can use this energy to expend that that emotion, because who wants to have that emotional hangover that happens when there's that argument or there's that disagreement that really didn't have to happen if we had stopped it, if we had just released at an earlier level, at an earlier time before it got to that level. Do you want to say something about that before I go into the transits?
No, you can go ahead, T.
Okay. So Mars in Scorpio sextiles Venus in Virgo from the 14th to the 17th, Tuesday to Friday. Mars in Scorpio trines Neptune in Pisces from Thursday the 16th to Saturday the 18th. And it sextiles Uranus and Pluto from the 20th to the 22nd. So I'm going to talk about them like all together as I had done before with the Sun in Scorpio, which is a little bit different than how we usually do it. But with the sextiling Venus in Virgo, I'm going to say, don't forget that this transit is happening. Like, put it on your calendar, attend to it. This can be time for ripe deepness with, it's a ripe time for deepness with another, for intimacy, for that, deep, intense sexual encounter that you can have that belongs to you. That intimacy is what I'm talking about. It may also be, the intimacy of spending time with a very dear old friend, you know, and doing something of beauty, doing something that brings color into your life. Think about depth, think about passion. Venus in Virgo is a servant. Venus in Virgo is a helper. They are here to serve, right? So how can you bring service to the area in which you are? So it can be a few days of fun. If you're looking for an intense encounter, on the other side of the coin, maybe you're not looking for it, but someone's looking for it with you. So, you know, again, it's scorpionic. So, you know, decide for yourself if that's the thing for you, if it's really for your higher good. I think we're talking a lot today about, you know, trust in self, higher good. Like, you know, as we delve into the deeper levels of consciousness or unconsciousness, you know, like what are we going to bring out into the world? What are we going to bring out to the world with all our pains, with all our glories? So the next one is Mars in Scorpio, trines Neptune and Pisces. And, you know, it's also a good time for spiritual endeavor, spiritual intimacy with others. So, you know, it's a time of giving and receiving. It's about the collective. You know, you might want to do some charitable works, not require anything back. Like, do this because you want to do this. You may not have to tell anybody that you're doing this. You know, it's just something that you're doing on your own, and it's going to feel good. You know, sometimes we give service for the effect. Like, what other people are going to say to us? Like, because you've done this service. We don't have to do that during this transit, right? We can feel satiated within ourselves when we do it. This is a good time that if you do tarot readings, that you may want to do it for the community, right? Put yourself out there. Help, right? To help and to heal. And you know, you'll feel good about yourself as you assert yourself. And then Mars sextiles Uranus and Pluto. I don't know, I'm sensing like there's going to be major tectonic shifts within you. Also, I wouldn't be surprised if we heard of an earthquake going on somewhere. Remember, if you do, that this is, we were told this, right? We were told this already. But for like within ourselves, this is a good time. This is a good thing. Change is a good thing. It's a sextile, right? So it's a good opportunity. And even if we haven't planned it ourselves, keep our eyes open, because we can manage the movement. We can manage the change. Someone might tell you that you need to make a change, and you're like, well, no, I like this the way it was, but you know, maybe it's for your better. Maybe it's for everybody's better. So again, it's like I get this vision of just keeping your eyes open, be aware of, you know, opportunities that are coming your way. And these are opportunities you're not going to be mad at. You're going to be okay with these opportunities. Of course, this could be, you know, it's so interesting. I think it's like my own rising scorpionic energy that's coming through right now. So it's like thinking danger, Will Robinson, danger. You know, it's like that old you know, if you're as young as I am, you'll know about Lost in Space and about, you know, it's like the robot, danger, Will Robinson. Something's coming, something's coming. Be aware of it, you know, but be part of it. You know, this is, you know, life is about you know, mutual participation. It's a mutual process. It's not happening to you. Life doesn't happen to you. You have a part in life and what happens. So that's all I have to say about this.
That's beautiful. I love that. We have a choice. We have our free will,
Yes.
right? To decide, you know, we have options and decisions that we can make and choices that can help us along the way. And again, placing the blanket over all these Martian placements and transits, there is a couple things of areas where we can focus on. So there's definitely our spiritual path. And then we have our mission. What is it that we're doing? Okay, so Mars is really pushing us to, again, trust those things, work through those things, like kind of move forward in those pursuits. But also, it's hitting our areas of our health and our mental and spiritual well-being. So there is this collective energy that we can focus on with this Martian energy. So Mars is always going to push us forward, especially in Mars. It can push us forward to dig a little bit deeper into things, to do things a little bit different in a way, or to choose to make a decision that is of, and that's an intellectual decision, and also a decision that is going to be good for us in time and space, and just like that's going to be something we'll value because it's in Scorpio. So it is deep. It is the things that we truly need to be doing at this moment. So catapults us forth. And I do agree with like earthquakes and other things happening, like T mentioned, with a lot of this, like there's a lot around water, like there's a lot around that element as I'm noticing here, and a lot of like around 12th house energy. So there is that comes into play. So let's just, work with this Martian energy with Scorpio to get to the bottom of things, but also to push us forward, to move us forward. It's very much like the Chariot in the tarot, like moving us forward into a direction that we need to be. And we have opportunities here. We have a fruition that comes in with Mars. So Mars is there's a little bit of like a little pushing too much, but there is a pushing enough as well that comes in. And that is all.
That's perfect. I love when you call it Martian energy.
Martian energy.
Yeah, like it really gives a picture of it.
Yeah.
Right? Like what is that Martians? And that whole thing about like Lost in Space, right? It's like,
Right.
this whole Martian type of thing. It's like when,
Yeah.
I don't know, like it's probably different now, but like when I was younger, it's like, oh my God, Martians, movies were made about Martians. B movies were made about Martians.
And Mars and water, and a water sign is like, whoa, it's deeply emotional as well, deeply eruptive. It's like very steamy. Really, really steamy. There's like
Yeah.
chili peppers being put into the pot, So
We're gonna have to start bringing recipes here. We're putting a recipe down or something,
yeah,
right?
especially pasteles. People been asking me about pasteles recipes and making pasteles. I'll get back to you soon about making those because I make those by hand. But I'll put a little alert if that's happening this year.
You can put
An
that
announcement. Yeah.
Anything else before we close for today?
Yes. So because it's been requested, on November 26th, I will be offering the first group meeting in Tarot Sanctuaries, which is pretty much a Tarot Sanctuary group. So I'm going to be teaching at that group a simple tarot spread. I will be also doing what is called the Rowdy Writers Circle. And in that circle, we're going to be writing and releasing, preparing for the full moon, which is on the 27th. So it's a two-part group. So we'll be doing the tarot first and then the writing second. And that will be happening again on November 26th from 1 to 3 p.m. And this will be online. If you prefer in person, please let me know, but it's mostly all online. And then this will be happening on a monthly basis moving forward. And that is my announcement. And in order to sign up, you just have to email me at shaylaandrose.com. And that's all you have to do. Just send me, hey, I'm interested, and I will send you the details for the group.
That sounds so good. That sounds so good.
Oh, and it's donation based. So you pay what you can for this first group meeting. Mm-hmm.
Perfect.
Yes.
Okay, so that's it from me. And so I guess we'll say so long. We'll say please like, share, subscribe, and come back. Ask us any questions. Ask us for what you're not sure of. Ask us for what information you'd like to have regarding transits and or who you'd like to have as us looking at their charts for the Patreon offering. So again, thank you and thanks for being here and con mucho sabor. We'll see you again next week, God willing.